All right, we got a great show for you today on the topic of why relationships fail. I think
Ooh,
we all know that relationships are a tough thing to deal with. And so, Helen, are you ready?
let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. All right, so I was reading an interesting statistic today. It says percentage of failed relationships. About 70% of relationships end in the first year.
Oh,
This is
wow.
often due to unmet expectations of lack of compatibility. Check this out. In the United States, nearly 50% of marriages end in divorce. That means if you get married, you got half a chance,
50%.
50% chance of winning. I don't like
It's
those
literally
statistics.
a 50-50, right? It's 50%
50-50,
good.
50-50. So you got a 50% chance, 50% not. What you think about that? So I saw it said lack of compatibility. And there's this thing in
Ah,
social media where we got men and women going back and forth. And it's pretty interesting because I think they use the word triggered a lot. People sides are getting triggered. So when it comes to relationships failed, I know y'all do things a little bit different over in Brazil. You know what I mean? But over here in
I,
America,
I live here in America for almost 20
so
years,
what
bro.
what up with that? What up with that? I'll give us a female perspective. Why do you feel like relationships fail from a female perspective?
I'm from female percent. I think first of all, can I just get out of my system the thing of compatibility? I just think this is so stupid. But anywho, like let's go, right? What do you think about this? Okay, you asked me another question. Let me answer first. But I think first of all, is like is this idea to find something kind of perfect, like and then relationships, especially marriage. I feel sometimes most of people rush to it because it feels good, and anything that feels good, they want to keep it. But not necessarily what feels good is really like check the boxes, what if is important. And I think the first thing, most important there, I feel like most of people don't understand, especially women. Sometimes we don't really know what is really important to us. We think we do, but sometimes we really don't put in consideration what's really
Mm.
important or who I am. What do I care about or what I don't care? What is a huge no-no for me? What is okay, what I can handle? I don't think it's about being compatible necessarily. It's not com it just doesn't work like that. But really like check the box, know what I want, where I'm going, and understand if it was both are really going to the same direction. Okay. And willing to fight to grow together. Because if I'm not willing to fight, if the first thing that looks not compatible, I'm not just dealing with it right now. I just don't feel like dealing with it right now. And then you give up.
Are you talking about from women? Women are giving up?
Yeah. I think for women, especially like if you think about it, the another day I heard something from was a very pretty woman, and she's saying why most of the time beautiful women cannot stay in a relationship for so long. Very beautiful women. And then she said something that I thought was very interesting because she was mentioned like a beautiful, very, very attractive women. They are so used to the attention, like every place they go, I've always had boyfriends and blah, 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 all this kind of thing. So when they go in a relationship,
They
in a
be out there.
marriage, uh,
I said, yeah, they be out there.
uh,
They be out there.
so I was like, and then once they go in a marriage, marriage is not about all these like sex every time and you're so gorgeous. Look how hot you are. Blah blah blah.
So you
It's
mean it
not
requires real work?
it requires real work. So and then the moment that somebody doesn't know me, doesn't want me that much anymore, in the case of the beautiful woman, it's not like a lot of them think like I'm not gonna putting up with this. It's just not. I see that a lot of men are attractive to me, and you're not just doing this, and we are fighting now, and those kind of things. So I don't need this in my life. I just don't need it. And when she brought this perspective, I say like, oh my gosh, it's so real because we see a lot of beautiful, beautiful women, gorgeous women that sometimes don't stay long forever, but it is like they are used to attention, and that change is shift so much and that the expectation was like, oh, well, they always gonna have the red carpet for me for everything. And in reality, it's not how it works. Like you said,
I
require a
think
lot
that's the
of work.
problem. Uh, See, and I'm hearing you. I understand. I don't. For me as a male, and you hit a nerve right there because I believe that's a big problem because as a man, for me, there's so many good men out there, but because women have this expectation, women they can get like men. They have a roster, man. They got a roster. You know what I'm saying? Where for me, I feel like we got to have it all together and have this perfect thing where, you got to have the financial security. You got to be a good guy. You got to do it like, and to have that type of woman. And that's what kind of pisses me off because it's like, what do you bring to the table other than your looks? And as men, I feel like we have to be more, like you said, understand what we bring to the table and understand, as they call it, being a high value man. I believe that you have to have enough confidence to let that one go. Because man, you got like the OnlyFans out here. You got man, just so many things
You
like
get
dudes be
options.
man, you got these girls, bro. There's some of these girls out here that are making millions of dollars because these thirsty dudes out here that gotta get that can't control nothing, spending all this money for what though? And so then you get these chicks out here, man, that they just taking all in. And it's like, bro, if you get rid of all of that outside feed, what do you bring to the table? And I think as men, until we start like putting the foot down and saying, you know what, enough of this. I can't take this no more. You didn't talk now. But that's that. I mean, like standing the ground, like for
Yeah,
real, for real. Because we we don't got it like that, man. As far as we got to bring all this stuff to the table, and then y'all just bring looks to the table. And you tell me that's what's going to suffice. But as long as we as men keep letting that sex be the category from which we see through. That's how for me. I feel like that's where we get in trouble because we get into these relationships and we get into them for the sex appeal part. You know what I mean? And what happens when hard times hit? What happens when tough is sex gonna get you through it? You know what I mean? Like I said, what if I ain't looking at you right? Like, what if you just said some stuff that just pissed me off? I'm not thinking about sex right there. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? What if I got
Hmm.
something I need to accomplish as a man and I got this
Work to do.
task and I need yeah. And
Work
so
to do. I have work to do.
and I just believe as a
So you're
man.
saying that just being hot is not enough for you there? Like
Yeah,
what?
no. Nah, not for me anymore. Not for me
Not
anymore.
that easy.
No. No, I need some of this. I need, and I ain't talking about the mouth action. I'm talking about I need
Yeah,
your brain. You know,
yeah,
I don't need
yeah.
some head. I need your brain. And that's
And I love like talking to you about those things. We talk about relationship a lot, and I love that because you are like a pretty good looking dude, right? You would agree with that with me. But I
stop,
love that.
stop,
He loves
stop that.
ladies, he loves the compliment, he loves, but I love that. And it's important to hear that. And I think that's the reason why we started this podcast. And I want to take all over the world as much as we can, because that is became a disease, became a huge disease. Because now, man, I go out and can I be completely transparent here, honest, and please listen what I'm saying, not what people want to say. I'm being extremely uh, I'm not being like show off or anything, but I'm past my 40s and nowadays younger guys, but very young, you talk about 27, 25, like I go out for a dinner or something, they come talk to me. And oh my gosh, sugar. And that we like it triggers me because it triggers me not in a bad way, but like it's like a question. I was like, thank you. I always appreciate because it's a compliment, and as long as you respect, I don't see no problem with that. But I always look and say like, oh my gosh, like I'm like. that's my 40s. I'm married almost 2 decades. I have 2 kids, and when I was younger,
Yeah,
I
but
don't
they
think
don't
I
see
got
all
that
that.
much compliment. No, no, no,
They
no,
don't
no, no.
see
But
that
let
though.
me finish. But let me finish. And then I started saying, and I even asked some friends of mine, like, what is this? It's like because they think could be a easy sex or anything. And then the answer of one of my friends was very, very cool because that's what I've been seeing a lot around me all the time, and I feel sad. Like I never put Botox, I never did any of these things. So he said, Helen, it's so refreshing right now, like even as a younger man, when you see a woman that is just a woman, normal, like she's not trying so hard, that we ended up like being when look at it, it's almost like, are you real? And I was in the bar this weekend, and if a girl in the bathroom, she look at me, she say, "Oh my gosh, are you all natural?" It's in Miami, right? And I was like, "What do you mean you all natural?" But
Wait, who said this?
because the
Who?
standard, one girl that she was in the
No,
bathroom,
no, no,
and
no,
then
no. Who said I like? It's refreshing that that.
a friend of my male man, 27, and he was talking about this because now also become the thing that all the girls has to have the perfect looks because they think a guy like you, that's what you want and look for. So it's all like you can buy anything right now. You can buy, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're gonna feel better by yourself, go for it. But it just became the thing that I always have to be about the looks, and that's what I bring to the table. And like you said, I love that you said that it's not only that, and it's not gonna cut it. And it's
Yeah,
completely the
but look
opposite
who
because
said it.
then becoming at it. Who
Look
said
who
it?
said that though. You said it's your friend that said it. You said it's your friend,
Maybe.
somebody that knows you already. So that's a cheat
Okay.
code.
So serious. Mm.
So there's not going to be too many. How many guys do you think are going to actually walk up to you and say it's good that you're such a nice person, is you're different, you're natural? BS. Because as a guy, you're looking strictly off of face, body, right off the bat. If I don't know you, I don't know those qualities about you. So what I'm saying is, you're saying that as a friend, he already knows, he hangs out with you. He don't know. There's not any guy that's gonna go off to you and be able to talk to you like that, because we see attraction first. If you're big, fat, and ugly, he's not coming up to you.
No, no, but it's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that nowadays it's being a bit too much about the looks. It's like too much of the lips, too much of the boobs, too much of the thing. Everything is showing something. It's kind of like almost like it's no mystery anymore. You know what I mean? Because became that thing that everything's about looks. Because in the girl's mind was said it that if I don't look like Kim Kardashian, I'm not worth it. I cannot even get out of the house. And I love that you saying like I'm sick and tired of like you bring the looks only, and I have to bring everything else. But to all fairness, if somebody pay for all the looks, she's bringing a lot to the table. So you gotta consider that too. It
So
was
okay,
an
so
investment.
so sticking on that subject, I was looking at a video the other day, and it's this guy, he's a millionaire, and he was trying to tell his fiance, I believe, at the time, that he wanted to sign a prenup. And she got uh all teary-eyed. I don't know why you want to do this. And so my thing is like, um, is that a deal? Is that a deal? But what's up with that as a woman? Like, if you're a woman, because you're talking about getting into a relationship, bringing things to the table other than your looks, because I think it matters. You got a guy that's established millions of dollars before he met you. He's got a business, a company, and like he said in the video, um, if you decide to divorce me a year from now, you get half. That's not fair.
Yeah, I
So, so,
agree.
so, so, what is that a deal breaker? Like, could that be something that
It
ends
should
a
not.
relationship
No, he should not.
as
And
prenup
if he
as
ends,
a
and
woman?
Well, it should not. And if it does, then good for you because clearly it wasn't supposed to be. Man, I think if you are a woman and like you said, you have more than looks and the brains, I'm so sorry for all due respect. I have business. You know, I'm a businesswoman. My husband is businesswoman. I would be pissed if somebody married me and a year from now we ask for divorce and I have to share something that I worked so hard to achieve. And it's my thing. It's my thing. I love what I do. I love that was hard because that made me who I am. I don't want to like share that part of my life. I would gladly share and tell you the stories and everything, but I really don't think it's fair. But the way women see it is like, you don't trust me. Like it's a deal
Yeah.
breaker
No, I
because you
don't.
don't trust me.
No, no. Why would I? Why would I trust you when I don't know what you're capable of doing? We haven't
Uh,
got into this thing. So, and it's not that I don't trust you. I just have to make sure I'm
protect.
taken care of the thing that I built before you got here.
And honestly, thinking about it, like in how God created like men and women. So mainly that people I think forgot, man was created to protect women, and that's why most of the time women seek money because it brings protection. It brings that sense of security. You know, that's why
Okay.
women like want to know if the guy has money or has a
Right,
job or
right, right.
anything, blah blah blah, like protection. But man, like I think if she would look for the good eyes, she would see that he doing a prenup and really protecting what he built is a good thing. He's a man that plans before than just like go and do whatever the hell cross his mind.
Hey, y'all put in the chat. What do you think? Is a prenup a good thing or a bad thing? Is that a deal breaker for you? Men, is that a deal breaker for you? Should you have men that have a prenup? With that being said, uh, I I feel like this. If you want security and you sign this prenup, you can have all the security you want while you're with me.
Yeah,
So if there's nothing that happens, it don't matter. So you're gonna get all of it. All this is saying is that when we depart, you're not
if it
getting
happened.
the 50. You're not getting the 50. So if you're not planning, if you're planning on going all in and doing it, and I'm planning on going all in, then guess what? We're
Exactly, should
leaving what we
not be a
came with.
problem.
You don't what so what's the deal? What's the
Exactly,
deal?
and that's what I'm saying. But it comes from
I think,
here
yeah.
and not for exactly. But but do you know that also has a lot of men in the same situation? There's a lot of women that make more money than men, like and they feel like
Hey,
attacked by
don't
this.
matter. It don't matter. If you bring in
Exactly,
this before me, if you bring in this before me, and I'm a man and I'm making less money than you have every right to protect what you built before I
exactly.
came in. Whatever we build together, that's one thing.
That's fine.
That's a totally different thing.
And if you really wanna everything that I have already, then the best way to do it is sign for the prenup, say like I'm with you 100% and I want to learn everything about it. I want to learn how you started, how you built it, how you got there. I want to be part of it, but I want to
Invest in
learn
it.
and I want to bring to the table and
There you
let's
go.
make now double that you made in 10, 20 years. Let's make it five. How about that? Because now we're two, not one.
I just looking at we talk about why relationships fail. I think a lot of, from me, in my opinion, I think a lot of them fail because we don't treat them like a business. I think we don't. I think we go to
Exactly.
the emotional part.
Uh-huh.
Um, and oh yeah, I love you, my heart. First of all, even God said the heart is deceitful above
Is
all things.
deceiving. Uh-huh.
So, and when we talk about heart, we like to talk about we're talking about the emotions. When God's talking about the heart of man, he's talking about your spirit, right? He's not talking about your heart, your emotion, because the
So,
reality
yeah.
is our emotions drive us way too much. What happens when those emotions go out of whack? We got to have principles, we got to have values and standards that we're living by to pull us away from the emotional stuff, because my emotions may not be with you all the time, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna be with you all the time. So what are we standing on together to bring us back to this sacred
Yeah.
commitment and covenant that we have together? So I'm sorry, ladies. but you can't get to 50 if you ain't with me. You can't get to 50 if you ain't with me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I start. That's no, no. And same thing for dudes, because there's some dudes out here that be that,
Uh,
they tripping.
uh-huh.
They looking for that free ride. So
Yes, yes, yes. This is so true. And then let me just do one thing here. So, I love this conversation because I think it is more than important to have it. I'm listening. I'm right here. I'm just pulling some stuff.
so
It's so
you
important to
talk
have it. It's so easy to just jump in, but let's be both together, build something even bigger, even better. And there's no problem. There's no problem with that. But the idea that, oh, you don't trust me, why are you doing this? And man, it's okay to not trust when you're getting married because we all know that once you're married and while you start life together is when a lot of things change. And
I
we
I
actually,
would
all humans are capable of a bunch of things that we don't know. And it has to be treated as a business. It does. It does. It does. It does. I remember what truly like saved our marriage like 3 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I think that we went through a really, really hard time was one conversation that I had like that I got in his eyes and say, hey, listen, you are the best person I ever met. I marry you because you were somebody I admire. And the fact that I don't admire you now, I don't think it's fair to you. And I don't want to see the person that one day I love so much and I admire so much now be miserable because of me and just like get a badge of honor that we still married. No,
so y'all
we're
had this
gonna
conversation.
yeah, we had this conversation. I say, now I'd rather leave you so you can come back to be happy because I don't think it's fair. Like, hey, it's kind of, we have an agreement, was going well, and now it's not. And if the reason of your misery is me, I'm gonna remove the thing out of the scene. Because the same thing is in a business. In the business, when you're going well, if for some reason go, you find the problem and you remove the problem.
At least you
If
were having that conversation, though. You at least were
we
having a
did,
conversation versus feeling that resentment and holding it in. Because think about if you're in business, right? Like if you're in business and you're not talking to your employees or your coworkers, you just have that silent resentment, things get worse. And the
of
problem may
course,
be worse. The problem, a lot of times we find out that the problem is not as bad as we think
as
it
bad as
is.
no, you just
And we're
face it.
typically nicer when we approach each other, in a respectful manner. It goes over easy because nobody really wants to go into a situation trying to, you know, be that person to,
No,
F
and
you.
and
No, no, no.
exactly. And then when we had this conversation, you know what was funny? I was like, I really want to leave you, not because I hate you, but because I hate to see somebody that one day I admire so much, love so much, and you're the best guy I ever met. Now I make your life miserable. Is that even make any sense? Just to say, like, we're married for 200 years. Like, who cares if you're miserable? Makes no sense. I was like, I rather leave you and the kids are fine with you, or I don't care who they're gonna pick, but I will let them pick too because I don't think it's fair to them or anything. Like, but let's talk this. Let's really face it. You're feeling miserable, and I don't want that to you. And he started talking. He like, okay, and it was funny because his question was, he started crying. He like say, but if we get apart, which days you're gonna keep the kids and which days I'm gonna keep the kids and where they gonna be? And they start like, and it was literally a business thing. Okay, if we remove this employee, where are we gonna put the other employee? Where are we gonna start and sorting things out? We start laughing. And we started laughing because it was funny that we like, what the hell are we doing? And
What do you
that
always say?
uh,
Action creates what?
clarity,
You got clarity.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Actions
yeah,
bring clarity. Sometimes
yeah.
and that's what I say. And another thing that I said the other day that we are having the podcast too, that I say, everybody, I believe that most of marriages are ending or any type of relationship, even business or anything, for lack of confrontation. People
Mm,
decided that confrontation was a bad thing. No,
yeah,
confrontation is an awesome thing and is
yeah.
important and necessary. Avoid confrontation is killing each other or killing yourself at least because you're not doing anything. Confrontation is an action. It's like, or this shit go down once and for all, or we're gonna fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. That reminds me of sports. We consider ourselves a family in sports. And a lot of times what we do, we fight, we argue.
Yes.
But we have that common purpose. And I think the problem is we don't have that common purpose that we're fighting for. And so if we always go back to what's the main thing and keeping the main thing, we realize that what this person is saying to me is coming from a place of love and concern about not reaching our goal versus just bitching and complaining. You
Bitching
know what I
and
mean?
complaining.
And
Exactly.
and so what we have to recognize is that we have to attack these things. What Myron Golden always talks about, uh, being aware. Awareness comes first, and then he talks about setting your intention, and then he talks about after intention becomes disruption. And we can look at disruption, right, as that the confrontation. What
Confrontation.
old patterns are we going to disrupt to create these new patterns in our lives? And so just listening to what you're saying about you and Roger having those conversations, that's a very good thing because uh, you're still together,
It
and from what
works.
I can see,
Yeah.
you are enjoying each other. Um, and I believe that we all need a little confrontation in our lives. We
Yeah.
need to be confronted and do the confronting. I think it's a double-edged sword because when we don't confront things, I mean, I'll never forget the time uh, when my wife told me, she said, "I wish you would have." How she said? She said, "I wish you would have." Been more basically been more aggressive. I wish you would have confronted me. I wish you would have done that. So even though she was giving me this tension, she was giving me this pushback, there's a part of her that was wanting me to
The
confront
fight.
the issue because a lot of times we figure out that neither one of us want the confrontation, even though we know it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a male, that was my moment to say, "Hmm, let's do it in a way like scripture says, speak the truth in love." Learning how to deal with these
Yes.
things in a positive manner to where we come out still loving each other and with our dignity versus a leg over there, a hand over there, your hip bones over there, and picking up the pieces, a lamp
Yeah.
over there, that whole
Mm-hmm.
deal, you
And that
know,
gives opportunity to each other to express because it's like we avoid confrontation because we don't want to fight. But actually, what brings the victory is the fight.
is the
Is no
fight. There is no
victory
victory
for the
without the fight.
is no victory without the fight. So it's
Yeah,
just like the worst that gonna happen. It get a little bit worse than it is, and we end it, and that's it. And the fight has to be passion. So people avoid like or to get a badge of honor that like we never fought. We are married and never fought. Every time I hear that, I was like, so sorry, it's not for me. I'm way too Brazilian and way too Latina to never fight.
yo,
It's just not gonna happen.
one of my mentors said this. He's a pastor. He said to every couple when they ask him for counseling, he says, "I won't counsel you until you've had your first fight." He says, "I need to know who cussed first. I need to know who hit who first or whoever did." He said, "I need to know." He said, "Because if you haven't done that, I don't want to counsel you because it ain't real."
And then
Sorry.
exactly, and it's so true because like when we had those things and then we fought wasn't a pretty conversation at first. It was like and but that gave opportunity to me. I just because you're not doing this, you don't love me anymore. You never. It feels like you don't want to be with me. Blah 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 blah. And then he came. Hey, but you don't do this, don't do that, and that. And I had to listen. And like you said, one thing, especially for Christian women, we are way too trained to like, my man needs to serve me. My man has to do this. My man have to look for sex. My man has to be like, even that. And sometimes, like, if you're a woman and you want to feel more attractive, but then do that too, look for your man and can be for sex, can be for relationship, can for a date, can for many. I realized talking to him when I was attacking him that he told me if you want to go on a date, don't just wait for me to invite on a date. I take care of all our bills. I do this, that. Sometimes it doesn't even cross my mind. Ask me out.
That's true. That's true.
Ask
As a
me out.
man,
And I was
I
like,
can
oh,
validate that.
and that goes back there that I feel like one of the things that is great that as a woman, you can be a go-getter, a fighter, and very strong. But what we're losing is a real power. And a real power comes to be sweet. And even though I never thought I was sweet, and you know me, you probably like, no, you're not that sweet. I'm not that girly girl, but it is a sweetness in me that is natural that God created. And I learned that watching my daughter. One day I got so pissed off because we are not having a good marriage. And then my daughter, well, everything that she wants, she'll get from her dad. And I start getting like so annoying. I was like, wow, she can ask anything for you, but not me, right? Blah, blah. But then I noticed how she did. And that she never come from a place that, would you do that for me? But it was always like, I'm so tired, Dad. I'm so tired. A big, big girl that she's not small, and that he will carry her all the way up the stairs gladly because she depend on him. She really didn't try to fight. She just depend on him. And that was
Oh,
one of the
oh,
things that I
okay.
learned.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so she didn't try to fight. Key word, ladies, she didn't try to fight. And there's this whole thing, and we can save this for part two because I think this is a conversation that we need to continue as far as a theme for why relationships fail. But you mentioned not fight or being fight. I think there's a common thing that ladies say a lot where, well, if the man does what he's supposed to, I'll submit. And it's like, hold on. First of all, if both parties are waiting on each other to submit, we're already in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole purpose is to have a heart of service. And when you're trying to outserve him and he's trying to outserve you, there's none of that we really run into. So you both end up submitting to one another.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And we can't do that. We got to wrap this thing up and we have to wrap it up all around having the foundation in our relationship with God. That's what this whole thing it really comes down to because without him, as scripture says, a house divided against itself will not stand. A kingdom divided against itself will not stand. And so when we are at the bottom of the spectrum, we got God at the center of the triangle. As we move closer to him, notice we get closer to each other. And so that's ultimately what we're using this platform to do is help each other understand that we can't do this by ourselves and
No,
we need help. We
yeah.
all need help,
We all
you
need
know?
help. Absolutely. Yeah. And we can learn from and I think as women, I am a very strong woman. And whoever doesn't know me, but it's true. And, but learn, not get twisted. We thought that being sweet, being like, depend on our men or even ask for the hug, ask for, come, is a
True.
sign of
Yeah.
weakness and is not.
Hmm.
The men gladly want to protect us.
For
Like,
sure.
would you be
For
like,
sure.
would you woman, you love, the thing is like that. You love that you women is a go-getter. It's like he's good, it's important for men. He's so proud of me. He see like me, like, man, she's on the
Mhm.
stage, she's a speaker, she's this, is that, so proud. But at home is like, would you pick me up, would you do this for me?
Well,
Is
what?
that thing that brings me now. I can be a val, I can protect, I can really take care.
Right. And there's not a man, unless you're a straight up abusive, low
Yeah.
life man, there's not a man in the world that won't like ball up into a little kid if his wife comes home like, hey, come here. Because the reality of it is, as men, yeah, we're big, strong, tough, and all that. But we have a little boy in us too that's crying out for attention, that's a little scared, that's a little afraid to reach out, and we're afraid of rejection. And what if my wife doesn't like me? What if I look stupid in front of my wife? And because I'll tell you to straight off and we'll save this for the next episode, but I've spoken in front of thousands of people. None of that has ever struck fear in me more than telling my spouse, I love you in a meaningful way. Or no, not I love you. that you're beautiful, that you're saying that in a genuine tone for me as a man has been more like harder for me as a man than to get in front of people and encourage them because it's a place of intimacy and vulnerability that is like, oh shoot. Like that's the part of me as a man that says, I don't know, man. I don't know if I measure up to this, you know? And I think when we become
Wow.
vulnerable like that, that's when relationships really get to thrive. And men, we have to be honest. Like I said, I've done it all. I've been a professional athlete. I'm strong, hit the weights, blah, blah, blah. But that part of me, whew,
But
it's a real,
because of like as an athlete, strong and everything is the
yeah,
show. Is the
yeah,
show. You were trained to
performance.
think that way,
Yeah.
performance, exactly. And then to tell you are beautiful is kind of almost
Oof.
like
That pulls from another dimension. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. And I love that you say that. And I will shut up of that, but if we can. But the thing is, shut
We're
up.
gonna get that. We're gonna
What?
get that little thing, the little,
Uh, like,
you're gonna get the hook.
but get out of here.
You're gonna get the hook.
But
You're gonna
but the thing, yeah, I will need the hook. I will need the hook. But if they controlled by you, but the thing is, it's true. And then know about yourself. I think this is know about yourself. You being trained by performance is a good thing. And that even be vulnerable about saying, like, hey, I probably will have a hard time saying I love you or you're beautiful more than go and speak to 100 million people. So help me out with this. And for women, like I'm strong, I'm a go-getter, and I love my independence, but I'll have a hard time saying that I want you to carry me or love me or hug me. Can you help me with that? But as long we at least be honest with ourselves, like things that I know is hard for me, I think that is a great start and really putting to God and not think that is weak to ask or saying and not portray this because that's one thing that I heard from Roger before that he said, I'm afraid to go to you because you pushed me away and said no so many times. So
Mm.
now I don't know if I can hug or not because I don't want to bother. And that hurt me. That hurt me when he said that because I felt like a monster almost. But I never realized that being a go getter, being like the strong woman, was actually breaking things for me. So it's good to be feminine, is good to be, led by your man is no problem with that because it's not led by him. Be submissive is not really be, he's not in charge of everything, means like we are together. Say,
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you
shut up.
said being led by a man. I'm gonna lead us out of here. Until next time, we're going to finish part two
Yes,
of why relationships fail. Remember,
let's
put a
talk about
like,
it.
comment down in the chat. We love to get the algorithms going. We're trying to build the channel so we can talk about more stuff. And if you have your topics that you like to talk, put it in chat. Help us out, and we'll help you out. All right. Till next time. See you when we see you. Peace.
Peace.